I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back?
I respect everyone here tonight. Eddie, thank you for this opportunity. Fans and people at home watching, thank you as well.
Yeah, what the cameras maybe didn't pick up is that you did go and shake his hand straight after the fight. You shaked his hand of the trainer as well, and that was good. Let's talk about the fight, AJ. Many in the lead up to this fight were saying a knockout what was important for you.
Yeah.
You've lost your last 2, 3 of your last 5. Was it just important to get the win?
If that was a knockout, it's important to get the win. But you see, Jermaine's got someone else will knock him out probably from Britain, I reckon. But Jermaine's got a good duck and dive style. There was opportunities there, but he knew how to tuck up. Respect to him. He done well. I respect him for that. Well done to him and his team for preparing. You know they were prepared for the fight. I should have knocked him out, but what can I say now? It's done. On to the next.
You did land some big shots, Rick. You landed a couple of big right hands, uppercuts. You hurt him to the body as well. Were you surprised that he was able to withstand those shots?
You see, like, when people come to fight me, I think they muster up a different kind of energy. So I feel like he had a lot of pride, and he's here to prove himself. He ain't here to roll over. But yeah, I wish I could have knocked him out 100%. But in the next 15 years, no one will remember that fight anyway.
Was you cautious? Maybe the output was lesser than what we're used to seeing from you. Was you cautious because of the extra weight you're carrying?
No, do you know what it is with my weight? I don't really watch my weight. I just kind of train to the sparring rounds. We're doing 13 rounds or 15 rounds. However I feel, I adapt my body. I don't really worry about my weight. But anyway, let's address the fans. How's everyone doing tonight?
Every time I speak to you, I always ask what next. It's the question. It's a difficult question after a fight. But what next for AJ? We spoke and you said there are going to be 3 fights this year. This was the first one. Yeah. What will be the second one? Dillian Whyte's ringside. There's a guy called Tyson Fury at home. What do you want next, AJ?
Well, you know me, I try and provide for the fans. So whatever, I know who the fans want. Who do the fans want?
You heard that. They said Fury.
They said Fury, yeah? Well, the ball's in his court. I would 100% be honored to compete for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. I stand here and I say that proudly. That would be an honor. So wherever you are, if you're listening, you know my management, you know my promoter. We've had dialect before, so let's continue this and hopefully we can get this on sooner than later. We ain't getting any younger. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know, if you want to be good at something, you got to do it consistently. Coach got me in the right position to compete for 12 rounds against someone that wasn't ready to go. Maybe I could have let my hands go a bit more. Maybe this, maybe that. But that's all in the past now. And all we can look forward to is what's going to happen in the future.
What's going on, boxing fans? Welcome to the channel. So you would have noticed that I played a little extract from Anthony Joshua's post-fight interview while he was in the ring being interviewed by Eddie, and I also played an extract from the post-fight conference. Now the reason for this was I wanted to show that there was a relationship between the 2 interviews, and it kind of shows where his mindset has been at and how he kind of felt about the fight. I felt like in this post-fight interview in the ring, you could hear that he wanted to avoid talking about the fight that much. I think he knew that it was a bit of a stinker. He knew that it was a bit of a bad performance. It wasn't what people were looking for. He was disappointed that he didn't get the knockout. And he didn't really want to dwell on it. He wanted to move on from the fight as quick as possible. I mean, I actually think he dodged Eddie's questions more than he dodged punches in the ring, to be honest. You know, but I'm not ridiculing him for that. You know, I think that sometimes when you have a comeback fight, we've seen all the champions do that. Tyson Fury, the same. He's performed amazingly against Deontay Wilder and then performed, you know, relatively poorly against Derek Chisora, for example. But this is what happens in fights. Sometimes you come back against an opponent, you've got a lot of pressure on your head. Despite the fact that Anthony Joshua said he's not taking on any more pressure, he's going to do his own thing, there will be pressure in the background from the British public, from the world, you know, looking at Anthony Joshua to see, you know, what he's going to do and how destructive he's going to be, and sometimes it just doesn't come off. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. The more, and everyone says this actually, the more you look for the knockout, the more elusive it becomes. So I'm not surprised that the performance wasn't great. I do have some criticisms, just like a lot of people. I think I want to be fair to Anthony Joshua. He has just started with a new trainer, as we know, Derek James. Derek James would have tried to implement so many different things. You can tell even in the ring, Anthony Joshua's stance was slightly different. The way he had his hands, the position of his hands and his guard was slightly different. This would have all been from Derek James from the get-go, how he wants him to stand, how he wants him to have his guard, his footwork. He resembled a little bit of Errol Spence in a way. Not his movement, but his stance. And that's just coming directly from Derek James. So I think that once you have a new trainer, it is difficult to get, an amazing performance, because you are trying to implement the new things that the trainer has taught you. So I give him a pass on that one. Everyone is allowed to have a bit of a bad performance. It wasn't a bad performance, it was just lackluster. He threw less punches than he normally does. And so, it wasn't great. But I think to his credit, his jab looked good. And to be honest, he just looked as if he was trying to remember and implement some of the things that Derek James had told him. He didn't really look like he was fighting. And that's not good for a fighter, really. Us as fans, we want to see a performance. We want to see a knockout. We want to see someone really trying to win. You know what I mean? And a lot of fans, I'm guessing, are going to say that, they didn't get that from Anthony Joshua. So I think I did see Anthony Joshua disappointed with his performance. I could tell by his interview that he didn't really want to talk about it much. He tried to take the focus away from the fight and onto the fans, and he did the same in the post-fight conference, where he was talking about, he came to win, but, let's move forward from there. Definitely wants to move forward from this performance. The performance itself, like I said, his jab looked good. I think we can't underestimate Franklin. I think Franklin is a solid opponent. They had trained really well for Anthony Joshua, as he said. They were ducking and diving, dodging punches. Franklin actually said in his not in his post-fight, in the pre-fight interview, he said there's a emphasis on staying safe and not getting hit with shots. And that's what he really did. He really evaded a lot of the power punches that Anthony Joshua was going to throw. And he did seem to have a bit of a speed advantage. It was a solid performance. He didn't do enough. Just like in the fight with Dillian Whyte, you could say he didn't do enough in that fight as well. He didn't quite step on the gas enough. And that may be his story, Franklin, that he just doesn't quite do enough. But I can't say that, because he's been up against two top fighters and put in two great performances, I would say. So he should take some positive stuff from that. He hung in there with, the likes of Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua, two big hitters. So, he can get in there with anyone. But Joshua's performance, he still seems to be struggling with the things that he's always struggled with. First of all, I think he came in too heavy. The extra muscle that he had, 250 something pounds, it seemed to slow him down. He seemed to be quite stiff. I do find that he's a lot more elusive and fast with his hands and his footwork when he's at a lighter weight. So personally, he's tried this twice now, coming in heavy. The heaviest he's come in was this time, and it looked, kind of the slowest he's been. And the second time he came in heavy was against Andy Ruiz, and we saw what happened there in the first fight. So I think Anthony Joshua shouldn't come in over 240 pounds, 240 something pounds. He came in 250 something pounds. I think it was too much for him. Just didn't look flexible. He didn't look explosive, which is what we're used to seeing. He's an explosive, athletic fighter, and I think he loses all of that athleticism at 250 something pounds. That's what I think. So I don't think he should come in at that kind of weight. He should come in leaner, slimmer, leaner, lighter. I think that suits him better because he's athletic. I think that suits him better. I think that that's kind of led to the lackluster performance as well. And then on top of that, it looked as if he couldn't pull the trigger that much. And I think there's a little bit of apprehension, you know, that you're going to get countered or something. And that is what happens when you either get knocked out in your career or, you know, you get beaten decisively, which is what happened in Anthony Joshua's 2 last performances. So there will be that feeling that, you know, you don't want to lose. And I think because his career was kind of on the line, although he said it wasn't, he needed a win more than he needed a knockout. That's what shows. Now that he's won this fight, I think it will give him some confidence and he will be going more for the knockout. So hopefully we'll see that from him. I don't want to be too hard on this performance because I know there was a lot riding on it. And sometimes when you've got a lot riding on it, you just want to get the win. A lot of casual fans may not understand that, but you just want to get the win. Franklin was a tough opponent and he was definitely game. He was looking for that right hand a few times, you know, and if you have an opponent obsessed with a knockout, leaves himself open, it could easily happen to Anthony Joshua, and Joshua knew that. So, you know, I think he was overly careful, but he just definitely wanted to get the win. Now, in his post-interview, he mentioned that he wants Tyson Fury, he wants whoever the fans want, he wants a big fight. It's Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Does he have the right to call out Tyson Fury after this performance? Yeah, I think so. You know, he got the win. I think that he's showing a lot of incentive to fight the best fighters. I definitely think Anthony Joshua is not ducking anyone. I didn't think he was ducking anyone beforehand. I've always thought that Tyson Fury is a difficult person, and he's proven to be a difficult person to make fights with. As you know, the fight fell through with Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua, and both times the common denominator was Tyson Fury. So I can only guess that it was his fault on both occasions. So I still look forward to seeing Anthony Joshua because I feel like he's got the ability to grow a lot with Derrick James. This is just the first fight with Derrick James that they had to get out of the way. And as a result, I'm going to be a little bit lenient on Anthony Joshua, probably a lot more lenient than other people will be. I think that we need to give him a bit of a chance with this new trainer. You know, he got a convincing win. I don't think Franklin won more than 2 rounds. I'd have to watch it again, but just my initial thought, I don't think he won more than 2 rounds. He may have done. But it was a convincing performance, but not an exciting performance. Let's see where he gets to with Derrick James and, you know, his next fight. He said he was going to fight 3 fights this year. This is one of them. He's got 2 more fights. Hopefully the next fights are with the likes of people like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, maybe Joe Joyce. These kind of fights is kind of what we want to see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if his performance gets any better than this one. I'm on to the next one for now. Let me know what you thought. Do you feel that his lackluster performance was excusable? Am I being too lenient on him? Let me know. I'm on to the next one. Just want to say thank you guys, everyone who clicked on my video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.